You know what I'm saying? We ain't had no badass, cold-ass white boy like this in a long time. I'm just saying, that's on some real shit.
He almost plays like an NBA style.
We're going to be playing against him in a few years. 17-year-old practicing with the Olympic team.
A hell of a player, 17 years old, coming in here playing like he's a vet almost. You know, no emotion, just going out there and doing his job, and that's a good sign.
Here's Flagg! Throw it down, big fella! Flagg pulls up, and a chance for three!
Imagine a scenario where the Spurs, a franchise renowned for its championship pedigree and consistent success, make a bold move, an intentional rebuild. Not by trading away established stars or rehashing old strategies, but by deliberately tanking for a gem waiting to shine: Cooper Flagg. What if the key to the Spurs' future isn't clinging to the past, but daring to start over? By selecting a player who could redefine both ends of the court. Today, we're diving deep into a revolutionary idea: tanking strategically to secure a prospect who could be the missing link for San Antonio's resurgence. Stay tuned as we break down how one player's raw potential might turn a rebuilding process into an exciting journey back to glory. This isn't about reckless decisions or giving up on winning today. It's about embracing a long-term vision where calculated risks pave the way for a promising future. In an era where every draft pick counts, drafting Cooper Flagg could be the spark that ignites a new era of explosive defense, innovative offense, and a team spirit that's as unyielding as the city of San Antonio itself. As we unravel this intriguing concept, we'll explore what makes Cooper Flagg such a tantalizing prospect for the Spurs, from his defensive instincts to his ability to create offensive opportunities. We'll address skeptics head-on, challenge traditional thinking, and reveal why sometimes the best move is to step back and let the future come knocking. So, buckle up, because we're about to challenge everything you thought you knew about winning and rebuilding in today's NBA. The case for tanking. In today's hyper-competitive NBA, tanking isn't just a desperate ploy. It's a strategic decision made with an eye toward long-term success. For a storied franchise like the Spurs, known for their meticulous drafting and smart management, tanking means more than a temporary losing streak. It's about positioning the team for a complete rebuild by accumulating top draft assets. Imagine the impact of landing a potential game-changer like Cooper Flagg, whose skill set might just be the catalyst for a fresh start. The Spurs have historically excelled in finding diamonds in the rough. By intentionally positioning themselves at the top of the draft, they could secure a prospect with the potential to transform the team's dynamics. This isn't a decision made out of defeat, but rather a calculated risk designed to disrupt the status quo. In doing so, the Spurs could set the stage for a period of sustained excellence, ensuring that every piece on the roster fits into a visionary blueprint for success. Who is Cooper Flagg? Cooper Flagg is more than just a name on a draft board. He's a phenomenon in the making. Though still unpolished, his raw talent and tenacity on both ends of the court have already caught the attention of scouts and basketball aficionados alike. With a frame that suggests both agility and strength, Flagg possesses an uncanny ability to read the game, positioning himself perfectly for rebounds, steals, and defensive stops. Offensively, his game is built on versatility. Flagg isn't confined to one role. He's capable of slashing to the rim, knocking down mid-range jumpers,
especially on the court, but also off the court with the approach, the mentality, everything that he brings. This guy is absolutely special, Willie.
And even extending his range to the three-point line if given the right guidance. His offensive instincts mean that he can adapt to various systems.
42 points are the most by any freshman in ACC history. That's not Michael Jordan, that's not Len Bias, it is Cooper Flagg. Jonathan, thank you so very much.
Making him a perfect fit for a franchise that prizes innovation and smart, team-oriented play. Defensive prowess, the foundation for success. Defense wins championships, and in Cooper Flagg, the Spurs could find a defensive stalwart who embodies that mantra. Here's why his defensive game makes him an ideal cornerstone for a rebuilding Spurs team. Versatility on defense. Flagg's ability to guard multiple positions is one of his greatest assets. Whether he's matched up against a speedy guard or a powerful forward, his instincts allow him to disrupt plays and force turnovers. This kind of flexibility is exactly what the Spurs need to create a defensive system that's both dynamic and resilient. Intelligence and anticipation. Beyond his physical capabilities, Flagg has a cerebral approach to defense. His anticipation allows him to predict opponents' moves, intercept passes, and switch effectively on pick and rolls. With the Spurs coaching staff known for their tactical acumen, they could harness Flagg's defensive IQ to elevate the team's overall performance. Impact on team morale. A player who consistently locks down opponents not only influences the scoreline but also energizes the entire team. Flagg's commitment to defense could foster a culture of accountability, where every player is encouraged to work harder and play smarter. Imagine a young core growing up under the tutelage of a future defensive anchor, a scenario that could reinvigorate the franchise's identity and set the tone for years to come. Each defensive stop by Flagg could be the spark that ignites a fast break transition, turning a defensive play into an offensive opportunity. This kind of dual-impact performance is exactly what the Spurs need as they transition into a new era. His commitment on that end of the court could be the glue that binds a fledgling roster together, creating a foundation upon which future success can be built. Offensive contributions, building a modern attack. While the defense is crucial, the offense is the engine that drives any successful NBA team. Cooper Flagg brings a well-rounded offensive game that could be revolutionary for the Spurs. Here's how his offensive capabilities set him apart. Scoring versatility. Flagg isn't a one-dimensional scorer. He can create his shot, thrive in transition, and find ways to get to the basket even against tight defenses. This variety means he can adapt to different game situations, whether it's a fast break or a half-court set. His ability to score from various positions on the floor makes him a threat that opposing teams must constantly account for. Playmaking ability. Beyond scoring, Flagg shows promise as a playmaker. His vision on the court allows him to make smart passes that can unlock defenses and create open looks for his teammates. For a team like the Spurs, which has always valued smart, unselfish play, this aspect of his game could help integrate him seamlessly into their offensive system. Floor spacing and shooting. Modern basketball prizes floor spacing, and Flagg's potential shooting range could force opposing defenses to stretch further than they're comfortable with. With the right development, he could become a reliable perimeter threat, drawing defenders out of the paint and creating driving lanes for others. This spacing effect can transform a team's offense, making it more fluid and unpredictable, a hallmark of successful offensive systems in today's NBA. Adaptability in offensive schemes. The Spurs have a legacy of adapting their offensive strategies to maximize their roster's strengths. With a coach known for innovation, Flagg could be molded into a versatile offensive weapon who fits into multiple roles. Whether it's being the primary scorer or a secondary option who excels in catch-and-shoot situations, his adaptability is a major selling point for a franchise looking to reimagine its identity. Each offensive possession that features Flagg has the potential to shift momentum. His knack for keeping defenses guessing could lead to faster breaks, higher scoring games, and ultimately, a more dynamic and exciting brand of basketball that resonates with fans. In the context of a rebuilding era, such offensive prowess is exactly what will help elevate the team's overall performance and set the stage for future wins. The long-term vision. Transforming a franchise. The decision to tank to draft a player like Cooper Flagg isn't made lightly. It's a strategic move grounded in a long-term vision of rebuilding a franchise from the ground up. For the Spurs, this means accepting short-term losses in exchange for long-term gains that could redefine the team's identity. Here's why this vision is worth the risk. Youthful energy and development. By acquiring a young, talented prospect like Flagg, the Spurs would be investing in the future. His growth and development could mirror that of other NBA stars who took time to mature before exploding onto the scene. This isn't just a gamble on talent, it's a calculated step towards creating a core group that can develop together and rise to prominence over several seasons. Market value and fan engagement. A fresh start can invigorate a fan base that craves excitement and progress. While tanking may lead to some tough seasons, the promise of a transformative player like Flagg on the horizon can keep fans engaged and hopeful for what's to come. In a league that thrives on narratives of turnaround and resurgence, this kind of strategic risk can pay dividends in both market value and team morale. A blueprint for the future. The Spurs have always been innovators when it comes to team building. By deliberately positioning themselves to draft a player who could be the cornerstone of a new era, they're sending a clear message. They're not afraid to rewrite the playbook if it means a return to greatness. This bold strategy could serve as a blueprint for other franchises looking to balance short-term competitiveness with long-term potential. Complementary roster construction. Drafting Flagg isn't an isolated move. It's part of a larger vision for the team's construction. Alongside other young talents and shrewd veteran signings, Flagg could be the linchpin around which the entire roster is built. His presence on the court would demand changes from opponents, opening up opportunities for teammates and encouraging a more dynamic, multifaceted style of play. The long-term vision isn't without its critics. Some argue that tanking for one player is too narrow a focus. However, when you consider the potential impact of a player who can transform both ends of the court and elevate the overall system, it becomes clear that this strategy is a calculated risk. A risk that, if it pays off, could lead to one of the most remarkable rebuilds in NBA history. Embracing the rebuild. What it means for the Spurs. Tanking and drafting Cooper Flagg isn't just a strategy for on-court success. It's a cultural reset for the franchise. It's about embracing change, challenging conventional wisdom, and setting a new standard for what the Spurs can achieve. Here's how this move could resonate throughout the organization. A new identity. For decades, the Spurs have been synonymous with discipline, hard work, and team-first basketball. By embracing a rebuild centered around a transformative prospect, they're reaffirming their commitment to these principles, even if it means taking a temporary step back. The result? A team that is not only built on talent, but also on the relentless pursuit of excellence. Innovation in strategy. The decision to tank for long-term gain underscores a willingness to innovate. It's a reminder that success in the NBA isn't solely defined by immediate wins, but by the ability to adapt, innovate, and stay ahead of the curve. With Flagg as a potential cornerstone, the Spurs could lead a new era of creative basketball, blending defensive grit with offensive flair in a way that captivates fans and frustrates opponents. Building a legacy. Every franchise has moments that define its legacy. For the Spurs, this could be the bold decision to rebuild in a way that challenges established norms. The draft may be the starting point, but it's the vision behind it. The commitment to a future where every game is a building block toward greatness that will ultimately define this era. In embracing Cooper Flagg and the long-term vision he represents, the Spurs could set themselves on a path to becoming one of the most forward-thinking organizations in sports. As we wrap up our exploration of why the San Antonio Spurs should tank and draft Cooper Flagg, it's clear that this isn't a call for defeat. It's a bold, strategic move aimed at revolutionizing the future of the franchise. The decision to rebuild by taking a calculated risk on a prospect with the potential to change the game embodies the very essence of innovation. Remember, sometimes the greatest victories are born out of the most unexpected strategies. Flagg's raw talent in defense, paired with his versatile offensive game, isn't just an asset. It's a vision for what the Spurs could become. For a team that has long been a symbol of excellence, embracing a new era by drafting a transformative talent could be the catalyst that inspires a generation of players and fans alike. In a league where every decision is scrutinized, the Spurs' willingness to think outside the box and commit to a long-term strategy may well prove to be their most innovative move yet. Cooper Flagg represents more than just potential points on the scoreboard. He embodies a future where defense meets offense, youth meets wisdom, and risk meets reward. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into a revolutionary strategy for the Spurs. This is more than a script. It's a blueprint for the future of a franchise that dares to dream big and break the mold. Until next time, keep questioning, keep innovating, and always stay ahead of the game.